Crafty with Friends Podcast.
Well, this is episode 158 of Crashing with Friends podcast. Check it out.
He's going to make a rectangular 8.
Smooth.
Let me draw a mustache on you.
Mustache on my tongue?
Penis on your
See, I didn't flinch. Jackson flinched.
Homophobe.
Jackson doesn't trust
You'll let me draw a penis on your neck.
I just don't think he'll make it veiny enough.
I'll make it veiny enough for you.
As long as it's big and black, you know.
Yeah. It'll be veiny enough.
Yeah,
if it's
it'll
big and black.
be big enough.
Just be confident in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. David's here today.
Hello. I'm back.
Wearing his spooky Salem, Massachusetts shirt.
Yes, sir.
Bringing the spook. Connor's
Creeper.
wearing his Batman shirt. Darkness.
Bats are out.
Jackson, how are you being dark?
I'm wearing a shirt with birds on it.
Nice. It's freaking evil, dude.
Yeah, birds.
Oh, I can feel it coming off you right now.
The 60s would have hated that shirt.
Alfred Hitchcock knew, and he was like, I'll make a movie that really shows these birds for what they really are. I'm going to call it The Birds.
Right. Well, last week we did not record an episode. I wasn't feeling the best. Connor wasn't feeling the best. It's just how it goes.
Did you guys have some gunk?
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a minor sinus infection. It lasted for like a day and a half, 2 days maybe. But I've got that Navage thing, so every time I get a sinus infection, if I can feel it, I just clear it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Connor seems like he got pretty hard.
Yeah. Head and chest cold.
Yeah, I had the
Ran right
same
through
thing
me.
last week. Yep.
A lot of people I know had it, man. It was just the way the weather was like, whoa. It's like,
All that ragweed and
Yep.
especially when it's windy like that, and like it all just, hey, come into me, you know?
it's like the Holy Spirit.
How'd it hit you, Connor?
We just want to go into my sickness first? Okay. I'd say how it hit me was a disc to the face. If we're going to get started with what happened.
That was the genesis, probably.
And who hit me was my nephew.
That was crazy.
So yeah, I had a black eye like 2 weeks ago.
You had a black eye?
Yeah, a big black one.
On his neck, too.
But actually, it's funny because it was a black disc that hit me in the face. My nephew was putting, and I didn't realize like he had stepped up to putt yet. Because like normally when you're playing disc golf, like a lot of people will like mark their disc and then kind of take a step back, make sure everybody can like get a good shot and all that. And I was like bent over marking my disc, and like I had my putter in my hand, or I was about to grab my putter, and I hear Kyle yell, "Connor!" I look up and just get boom right in the face, dude. And it was like I could see the disc about here, and it was like it went from here to in my eye like this, and I could see like the whole disc going up. And it was like a split second, just like boom. I'm like, oh my god.
Must be what they feel like in Tron.
Probably,
When
yeah,
the discs
like
hit 'em.
disc battle, yeah, for sure. I got KO'd, man.
Enter Rinsler.
That's
See, time like went still for a second. As soon as you looked up, all of a sudden freeze frame, and then like that song by The Who starts playing. Like you're wondering how I got here.
what is that, Baba O'Reilly?
Yep, Bob O'Reilly.
Yeah, it was a tough situation.
It looked rough.
Because like, you know, when your nephew hits you with something, you really don't want to get mad at him. You know, like I didn't want to make him feel bad, but I did have to give him a little bit of shit because it's like you just hit me in the face and you could have said something before you did it, or just get him to thinking a little bit in the future. But yeah, dude, it was just like one of the hardest hits I've taken to the face, in that part of my face, because it was like right on the top of my cheekbone by my eye. And I was like, initially I'm like, I was glad that I didn't get hit in the eye, because I felt it just directly hit my cheekbone, you know, so I knew I didn't lose my eye or anything. But I'm like, dude, that was like too close for comfort, you know? Yeah. And obviously that eye just like swelled up instantly, and like he took some skin with it. And like I still got like a little red, like that little red.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's the little lingering.
Paid the flesh tax.
Yeah, exactly. It's going away though, but
Dude, my brother Jacob shot me in the eye once with a Nerf dart, and it like hit me directly on the eyeball. And it was like, you know, the suction cap Nerf darts. Like you could hear it, dude. It was like, you know, like when it hit my eye, bro. And it was like a miserable level of pain, man. I like saw stars instantly, bro. I was like, I have to go to the hospital. It was bad.
Damn.
So, it's a good thing you didn't get hit in the eyeball.
oh, dude, I would have had to gone to the hospital. Look how hard I got hit by that disc.
I bet it pushed your eye back a little bit, man.
Oh yeah.
And it's a combination of things with Anakin. Like, he doesn't know golf etiquette, so he doesn't know to hold on and let everybody assess their shots and figure out who, because you got to go
furthest out.
Who's furthest out? Yeah, you got to. He obviously was furthest out. He was super far out, but he didn't give enough time for everybody to get set, you know, and figure out where everybody was. And two, he's never watched like real golf besides Happy Gilmore. He watches that all the time, but like he doesn't know to say four or any of that stuff. But he should know how to say watch out.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Don't take that boy to the range now.
yeah.
It was just funny though, because like his shot, he like totally missed the basket. It was like so far to the side, it just curved into my face. But yeah, it's whatever. Got over it.
He's a prodigy though.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, give him that. He just needs to work on his putting a little bit, and I think he'll like really dial in his game.
His mid-range game is dope.
Yeah, his drives and his mid range are pretty good right now. But yeah, aside from that, we did the Maple Leaf Parade. That was fun. Did you go to that, David?
No, that was last Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I got called into work at like 2:30 in the morning. I was there till like 7 at night because some server stuff went down, and yeah.
Okay.
Gotta do what you gotta
It
do.
sucked, but I made a lot of money that day. So
In a cyber world, they need to cyber David.
Oh man. Yeah, like we went to the Maple Leaf Parade. It was my first time going, and went with my little sister, and then we met up with Kyle and his wife and kids. Also, Rachel's technically my sister as well, so I don't want to just say Kyle's wife. Say
Sister in Christ.
yeah. So
And in law.
yeah. So yeah, it was cool hanging out with the family there, getting to see all the bands play. Got really into that. The floats were so, but also there's a lot of pretty girls there, so that was cool too.
I guess the kid got hit.
A kid got hit.
Mm-hmm. Got hit by a trailer.
Dang. Was he okay?
Kid, yeah, I guess the kid was okay, but I guess the thing lasted for a lot longer than it was supposed to, obviously. But yeah, a kid ran out to get candy and I guess got hit. So someone told me at work.
Dang.
Like, dang.
whose idea was that?
Now, is that on the kid or is that on who's driving? Because it's a parade, bro.
They're dropping the candy
It's a
right by the
parade,
tires.
You got a very set speed limit.
Right,
That's
right.
like, I gotta say, that's on the kid, man.
You got to think it happens at least once every couple of years. I mean,
I wonder if it was like a situation where he ran out to get candy and he tripped and like face planted into the trailer or something, you know?
I don't even want to think about it any further than that.
Yeah, and get hit could mean anything. He could have bumped it. You know, you never know. But
And what about the horse shit?
there was a lot of horse shit.
Yeah,
And-
slipped on the horse shit.
It was crazy, right? It's like right as the parade started, dude, because we were pretty close to the start of it, dude. Like, there's some horses walking, and they laid down some big balls of shit, dude. And then here comes a marching band, and I recorded it. I'll try to splice it into the video, but I recorded it looking at the balls of shit, just trying to see if I could see them tossing around. I haven't watched to see if anybody steps on one yet, but yeah, I definitely there's some shit being tossed around. Oh.
Dude, you got to lock in when you're marching like that, though. You can't worry about the horse shit.
And then an everyday hero walked up with the shovel. An old man.
Well, before that, these kids had got off the float to like get the horse shit, and they did such a bad job. They got like maybe half of it, and then they just ran off and were laughing and shit. It's like, dude, you guys had one job, just like fucking get the horse shit.
They walked off and they were both like high fiving, like, fuck yeah, we did it.
And then yeah, the hero came in after like one of the marching bands came in, and everybody clapped for him. It was pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure that's where I got sick, either there or somewhere during that day, because it all turns pretty bad. But yeah, I got over that sickness. Had to take a couple days off work, had to miss the podcast. That was kind of crappy, but needed. And then played Armored Core for a long time. And
Fires of the Rubicon.
yeah, Fires of the Rubicon. And one day, like I was playing for so long, I went back into my kitchen and like my freezer was wide open. I left it open and like all the stuff had melted. It was like a big puddle.
Oh man.
Because I was messed up on cough syrup or like cold medicine. You know how that, because I don't drink anymore, and that stuff kind of like fucks me up a little bit.
Yeah.
And like that, plus being sick and being like lightheaded because of the head cold, and just like being zoned into like my Armored Core. Yeah, dude.
He was jacked on.
Yeah, I didn't hear my freezer being open or anything like that, but
Did
yeah,
you walk in like a Mack? Like,
pretty much. Yeah, I floated in. But yeah, dude, that game is so cool. If I would have played it last year, it probably would have made my top 3 easily. Wow. It's not gonna blow you away like story wise, but like combat and like mech assembly / like just like being in the moment mech fighting, dude, it's so sweet, dude.
You guys remember when Aaron was all hooked on? I think it was Armored Core 3 or something like that.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we used to play Armored Core all the time, man.
Really?
Back in the day. Yeah.
I don't think I ever played. I played like a couple times, just touched it, and never really.
See, me and Connor talk about this often. My memory for mech games is tied. Like, I never know because there was like Mech Warrior, Mech Assault, and Armored Core. Those are like the 3 big mech games when we were kids. And I don't remember which one we were playing. Was it Mech Warrior?
We played Mech Warrior on the PC all the time, and we played Armored Core on the PlayStation.
I don't remember having Armored Core.
What was it, Robotech or something on the GameCube?
Yeah, there was.
It was a pretty fun one.
Armored Core, like if you remember, like during the assembly, you remember how like there was a mech game where there'd be like a lot of like quad leg or like tank leg stuff. Like you know, it's got a lot of that kind of shit. And I'm pretty sure Mech Warrior has that kind of stuff too. But like I remember that being like really prominent in Armored Core, and like there's like different like builds that you can have. Like there's like light, medium, and heavy mechs. You can mix all the different parts. There's so many different cool weapons, all these different kind of like shotguns, rocket launchers, bazookas, electromagnetic weapons, like a lot of cool stuff. So like what I've been doing is like I started off using light mechs and like submachine guns because it can like break people, you know, and then deal heavy damage. But like I switched it off to like now I'm doing like double bazookas, and I've got these like plasma launchers on my shoulders that like shoot out like purple explosion electricity when they hit people. So it's like it's cool. It's like you're skating around the battlefield, you're like shooting missiles, trying to like trap people to where they can't dodge out of shit, you know, because it's very fast paced. A lot of like if you want to go light mech, you can do a lot of like flying aerial stuff. Medium mechs are better for like dealing damage but also taking damage. And then heavy mechs are just like really good at just like taking a lot of damage, but you can also like have these big cannons and just like be way overburdened and all that kind of shit. It's very cool. So like if you're like really into mechs like me and just like want to like fantasize about like what could I do here, what could I do there, very sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I also bought Assassin's Creed Mirage. I want to play that pretty soon. There's a lot of other sales going on right now. But yeah, just trying to get back into gaming a little bit because I haven't been gaming a lot. Been watching The Bachelor.
It ebbs and
Still.
flows, man.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. I haven't really gamed a whole lot in the last like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I went hard.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta go
I
hard.
went hard for a good 13 years.
Yeah.
We're in that period though where I'm gonna be playing so many games just trying to beat them before the end of the year. You know, like 1000X Resist or whatever that game is. You know,
1,000 times resist. Yeah.
yeah, I gotta beat that. I gotta
Yeah.
beat Star Wars Outlaws. I would like to get play some of. God, there was some game me and you were talking about. Astrobot.
The game is so good.
Yeah.
Dude.
I need to play that, dude. I still need to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, dude. Like I'm like a couple hours into that.
dang it, man.
I keep forgetting. It's like no, I need to go back and play that. But yeah, that's something I need to do. But yeah, other than that, watching The Bachelor still and just hating how fake a lot of it is. But
But you can't stop.
yeah, can't stop, won't stop. But I am getting a lot of insight into like my own personal life and things like my shortcomings and stuff like that, which is very surprising because I didn't expect that watching this show. But yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Self-realization.
yeah. Because like, you know, people always like wonder like why do things go a certain way? And it's like, oh, there's things that I have not done. Or like, because like opening yourself up to people, like that's a big one, and being vulnerable. And like you hear that a lot on the show, and it's like, okay, people are just repeating all these lines. But like there does come a point where like if you're in a relationship, you do have to like let down barriers and walls and stuff. And I feel like that is something that I do struggle with, you know. And you know, it's something I can work on, but you do have to get to that point with someone first. So yeah, it's interesting, you know. But other than that, I gotta go on like hot air balloon rides. I gotta go to like Jamaica, Tahiti.
Gotta go on hot air balloon rides to Jamaica.
Bora Bora.
Big ocean, bro. Big ocean.
Yeah, just scuba diving in general.
Yes.
Yeah, taking people out on the water.
Go from, parachuting to scuba diving. Hell yeah.
That's mainly it. And like I gotta date 30 women at a time and slowly cross them off the list, you know?
Yeah, as one does.
Speed dating.
Yeah.
You gotta find a speed dating site somewhere.
No, I'm just gonna pick them all out. Like, no, you and you. Grab your friends.
Just walk through Walmart.
Make out with all of them.
Yes.
That is one of the things that's really weird, because like you remember me telling you about how the Australian one, the dude didn't want to make out with chicks and stuff, and I really respected that. All the American ones that I'm watching, it's like night one, they're making out with everybody, and it's a big turnoff for me. I'm like, dude, you're not even trying to know these girls, you're just trying to make out with them and see who's gonna like sleep with you at the end, you know?
I always thought it was weird. It's like you're the fifth girl in line for a date, and you guys are making out. You have to know that he made out with the first four girls. You have to know, like, you know what I mean?
Don't even consider that.
Yeah.
Gross.
But seriously, it's disturbing in a lot of ways. But I have learned some stuff about fashion, and that's coming from a fashionista or fashion brosta.
A wizard.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's been interesting weeks, 2 weeks. A lot of stuff got done. A lot of stuff didn't get done. Good. David?
See, the thing about the guy making out with all those chicks, you gotta know he's using mouthwash after every one of them, maybe?
No.
Maybe?
Men take care of themselves.
There's a lot of editing.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
And what's that doing to his gut biome? All that alcohol just going into him, out of him, that stuff is bad. Mouthwash. Look out for it. David?
Yeah. Hello. We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been good. I got 2 animals fixed in the last week. We took our big dog to the Humane Society Monday. Got him fixed up. Dude, this dog's a tank, man. Like he has an incredibly high pain tolerance. He's like a bulldozer, dude, and he's like a Saint Bernard mix. And the lady when we picked him up, she's like, there might be some vomiting. Don't feed him or give him any water because the anesthesia, right, when he gets home and all this stuff. Because he's like 3 years old. We got him fixed pretty late. And she's like, he may be a little weird about the area. There might be some, licking. You got to keep him from licking. You can't let him outside for too long. Dude, we got home. This dog chugged an entire like mixing bowl full of water and ate a whole big bowl of food. And I was like, I'm just gonna let you do what you feel like you need to do, man. But and then he was outside like chasing cars along the fence, barking at him and stuff. And I'm like, you wouldn't even know this guy got fixed. And then we took one of our cats, to get fixed. And she came out super pissed off in her little carrier or whatever. And then she got home, dude, and she was fucked up from this anesthesia, bro. She couldn't walk straight. Like, she kept trying to sneak out the front door, which is why we got her fixed. Like, we want to let her in and out, but I don't want her getting pregnant because we already had one that had a litter, and that was awful. So yeah, that was an experience. Never done that with pets before, but
yeah, man.
Pets suck, man.
It pains me, dude.
Pets are awful.
It pains me. Yeah.
Don't get pets. You think you want a pet. You see movies and you're like, no, I'd love to be a dog owner. Don't do it. Unless it's like a little bitty dog. Even then, though, wait till you're like 50 and your kids are out of the house and,
Yeah.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
For me, it's like if I want to get a pet, I want to get something that's like not a traditional pet.
Yeah. Like a tarantula.
More like
A bearded lizard.
more like an Asian water monitor, Big ass giant lizard.
Yeah.
Call it Joanna.
I think I'm gonna get Owen a tarantula for Christmas. He's been really, really into spiders lately, and they're like super low maintenance. You just put them in one of those little critter carriers and feed them once a month or something. Like they don't eat a whole lot, and they're super chill. Like it's just kind of like a decoration at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Man, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Anyway, no. So I got super into mountain biking recently. In the past 2 or 3 weeks, like I'd been wanting to like because you see all those videos on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff of like the crazy dudes going down these wild ass trails in Montana and stuff on their mountain bikes, and like obviously I can't do that. I'm you know, those people have been raised on it and stuff, but I always wanted to like find a trail and try and rip it, you know what I mean? So me and my buddy Caleb planned a trip to Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve in Rogers, and it's like you guys ever heard of this place? Yeah. It's like I mean, you park on the road. We had to park on the road. There was an event going on, and then you ride up a trail, and there's this place called the Hub, and it's like a bike wheel with spokes. There's just trails coming off of it. It's like spider web through this like whole little mountainous area. And there's like, you know, I think their green trails are the easy ones, the blue trails are the medium, and then the black are super difficult. And then they've got like double black diamond, which are super, super difficult. We didn't do any of the black ones, but we did a couple blue trails. And they were pretty hard. Like there was a couple times I thought I was going to eat it, you know, but it was really, really fun. And it's like one of those things where you do it and you're like, yeah, this is for me 100%. So
Get the rush of skateboarding, kind of.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to control and like be a part of than skateboarding, because I feel like with skateboarding you have to learn how to balance. You have to figure out what stance you are. You have to figure out what push you are. And then you got to figure out how to ride flat ground. Then you got to figure out how to ride ramps. And then you start trying to learn how to ollie. And like every trick takes a long time to really master. On mountain bikes, it's like you learn how to ride it and you can do it. And then if you want to do jumps, you can. You don't really have to do tricks. Like I don't know. It's a really accessible sport. That's it's good exercise. Like we rode up to the Hub like 6 times, I think. And by the time we got up to it on our 6th ride up, dude, my legs were jelly, because it is a long way and you're going uphill the whole time. But it's really fun, and the community is really cool. Like, because I guess Kohler is like nationally famous. You'll see it in YouTube channels and stuff. So we met people there from like Utah and California, and like we met a couple dudes from Rhode Island that had rode down just to do Kohler, and we met some guys from like Finland or something that were out there. They were just doing like a mountain bike tour across the US. So it's really fun. So we're planning a couple trips back down there, because there's just trails all over Rogers. So yeah.
What kind of bike did you get?
I don't have like an actual mountain bike yet. I've just got like a Walmart one. It was the one I talked about it on the last show, how my brother that I don't really talk to anymore was like getting rid of bikes. And my dad was like, hey, you might want to grab one of these. So it's a nice bike, but it's definitely not a like sport mountain bike. But I'm
yourself like a Kona or something.
Yeah, I'm planning on, I think I'm going to get a Trek. Cause they're like, I don't know, I guess during tax season, everyone in Rogers sells off their old bikes and buys new ones. So I'm going to try and get like a couple year pre-owned for like $400 or $500, cause they're like $1,500 brand new for a good one. And I ain't trying to spend that kind of money. So
You need to, though.
yeah.
If you're going to get that into it, I mean,
Yeah. When like, I could feel it. There was this one, there's like a, I think it's called this. I don't remember what it's called. It's like this little area where there's a coffee shop, and like it's a big rest area. You can park your bike out on this like big green field and rest and hang out. And there was one loop that took you down to the water tower, which is just another location, kind of like the Hub. And you could branch off the loop and go down to this. I think it was called the Hideaway. You could branch off and go down there from this loop. And there was 2 signs. One said hard way, and then one said meh way. And the first time we took the meh way, and it was kind of rough, but it wasn't too bad. And then, by the way, the whole bed of this trailer, the whole bed of the trail is just like hard, like big slab rock. It's like a creek bed, right? And so we took the meh way the first time, and then Caleb's like, "You want to take the hard way this time?" And I was like, "Sure." Not a good idea. It was really crazy. Like there was jumps and drops and all sorts of shit. And again, all solid, huge slab rock. So if you fall, you're gonna take some damage. Yeah. But at the end of it, there was like somebody had built out like a ramp out of wood, like those wood that you see in videos. And then there was like a drop that was super steep, and it just pitched you into more of that solid rock. And I was like, I got up to it and I was like, I don't know if I want to drop this. Cause like if I hit the bottom and my bike goes out from under me, it's just all that inertia, like downward force and speed right into the rock. So I debated it for like 10 minutes, and then I finally took it. And I swear my bike was going to like crumble under me, dude. The whole time I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it was a rush, man. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
So.
Nice.
How's Trenchfoot?
It's good. I think we are rebranding. We've tossed a couple name ideas around because we lost our vocalist, and we got a new guy, and our tone kind of shifted. So we've done a lot of writing, and we've still got a few of the original songs, but we've scrapped a couple and rewritten a couple, and I've written a few new songs. And now we're just in the tail end of getting 2 songs out the door finally, because it felt like the thing that held us back before was our previous vocalist, which I love the guy. He just was like never here, so he could never record. And when he did, he just talked a lot, and we messed around a lot. We would hang out for like 4 hours and record for like 30 minutes. So it's just nothing was getting done. This new guy has, I think, been part of the project for like 6 weeks now. And he's written lyrics for like 6 songs, and he's recorded a couple, like scratches. So just so we can hear him and kind of get a feel for what he can do. So we're going to finish up hopefully 2 today later, because he's scratched them both and he's got lyrics for both of them. It's just going to be a matter of recording and re-recording and getting all the takes done. So hopefully those will be edited and finished and out in like 2 weeks. I may be putting too much pressure on our producer guy, but dude, it's been a long time. But I was going to say we went and saw Born of Osiris, not this last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before last in Springfield. We drove up there and saw Born of Osiris again, which like, I get that they're not really it anymore, but it was like one of the first like metalcore sort of genty polyrhythm bands I ever fell in love with.
Yeah.
And I saw them in Greensboro, North Carolina 10 years ago, like almost to the day. And then I saw them again like 10 years later, and they've changed a lot, but they're still, it was such a good show. It was so well like produced. The quality of the sound was great. Their performance was insane. And they played like Bow Down, Abstract Art, like all the goodies. They opened with Open Arms to Damnation, which was like, came out of left field for me. I was like, oh shit, they're like going old immediately. And did you watch the video I posted, the Abstract Art video? Dude, I was like, I was like on cloud 9, bro. I was like, I have to have my phone and record this moment, dude. Like, and I hate doing that because I want to live the moment in the moment. But like, dude, Abstract Art, as soon as they started with that shit, I was like, oh, dude, no. And like, you can hear in the video, there's like some girls screaming. This pissed me off because they started with that like synth track of the breakdown backtrack. And you can hear, oh my God, in the background, which I thought people were just getting stoked because it's Abstract Art, right? And I turned around and it was like some girl showed up that some other girl knew, and they were like freaking out because they hadn't seen each other in forever, like right over my shoulder while I'm recording this video. And like, yeah, it catches the audio from the show, but you can hear them like it's like half and half of these girls screaming and Abstract Art playing. And I'm like, dude, oh my God. But yeah, it was a really great show. And then they got off stage and everybody was like, one more song, you know? And they came back up and they played like something from Soul Sphere. And I'm like, why'd you guys save the one more song for like something off of Soul Sphere? Like, nobody cares. But they played a lot of stuff off the Discovery, and I think
Are you
the Higher Place.
Osiris right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they played some stuff off Higher Place too. So
How was their vocalist?
He sounded weary, man. Like he's been doing it a long time. You know, he's starting to wear out, but he was still good, and his like stage presence was great. So it was a good show.
Sweet.
Nice.
Otherwise, I've been taking some time off gaming. I've been reading a lot, actually. I read this book called Stoner, which I have to talk about, dude. Like a lot. It's not fantasy or anything. It's just about this guy who's like a normal dude in like, I think it takes place between like the early 1900s and like 1950s.
Okay.
It's this whole dude's life, and he's just a normal dude, and who like goes to school and learns some stuff and becomes a professor, and like it's like you're waiting for like the book to hook you in a way that you're used to books hooking you. Like, oh, this is the pitch, or oh, this is the story. Mm-hmm. It never does, but you cannot stop reading it. Like for some reason, it's the most mediocre thing I've ever read. Like it's just a dude's life, but it's like normal lived experience where like he meets this woman and you're like, oh, it's a love story. And he falls in love with her, but she doesn't really feel the same way. But because of the times, she feels obligated to marry him because that's the way things go back then. So it's not a love story, but then he like finds his passion in literature, and he becomes like a literature professor at MSU. And you're like, oh, it's a story about how he's this big genius in literature, right? But he's not. He's just a normal dude that finds a passion in this. And he has like a little affair at one point, and you're like, okay, he finally gets a break and meets the woman that he loves, and he's going to leave his wife because she's a bitch, but he doesn't. It doesn't work out because affairs never work out. So it's like the constant, like, oh, this is what's going on, and then it doesn't. And then, oh, this is what's going on, and it doesn't. And it sort of was like a reflection when I finished reading it where I was like, man, like, that's sort of the sum of human experience. Like, you're always expecting this big breakout thing where you're like, I found my passion. I found my moment. I found the love of my life. And it's like, it's never that way. It's always like, you have to work at things. And sometimes you're disappointed, and sometimes things let you down, you know? So it's a really good book. It's pretty short too, but
What was it called again?
Stoner.
Stoner.
Yeah. I mean, you hear the title and you're like, it's about weed or something, right? But it's just the guy's name is William Stoner. So it's
Stoner bashing time.
I can see why you'd like that book. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And I remember like reading it, and I'm like, at some point I'm just gonna put this down because it's boring. And then I finished it in like 3 days. Like I blasted through it, dude. But yeah, you know, we're watching Agatha right now, which is, it's okay. We finished the show Rings of Power season 2. Super, super good, dude. It's like,
That's what I want to hear.
we're in my favorite show of the year right now.
Really?
Yeah, season 2. But and then we started Agatha, we got caught up, and then since we were caught up, I was like, I haven't finished season 3 of The Bear yet, so that's what we're doing currently, and that show just, dude, fires on all cylinders constantly.
I gotta finish the 3rd season, man.
What episode did you get to? Do you know?
I watched the first 3.
Dude, that 3rd episode, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
They put you, dude. So that episode, like, I don't know if you remember much about it, but it's like, you know, their first few months, it's like just a sizzle reel of their service for the first few months. And I remember like constantly waiting for the powder keg to explode, and it never does. There's like moments where somebody yells at somebody, or a plate drops and shatters, or something happens, but there's never that Bear moment where everything is ignited all at once. And so it's like I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen?
And this is in the 3rd episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe the 4th. I don't know. Yeah, it's great. I love that show.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's
Interesting.
how David's been.
Nice.
Yeah. Watch The Bear.
It's really good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. I need to get back on that.
Yeah. I see Jackson over there. He wants to talk.
Spill the beans.
It's been going good, man. I need to watch Terrifier 2 or Terrifier 3 again so I can get that second viewing in, because with horror movies, it's like a 2-part process with me. The first viewing is I'm in it and I'm taking everything in as the horror movie is wanting me to take it in. The second time, is me watching it just so I can be like, it's just a movie, and I know everything that's coming. Now I can kind of like point and laugh at certain things that are happening in the movie.
Okay.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Exactly. It's that kind of thing. It's that kind of thing. So I need to get that second viewing of it, and so I can stop having parts of that movie just play on a reel in my head. You know? There's too many parts of that movie that are just like, holy fucking shit, this is way over the top. And yeah, ever since I saw that movie in theaters, it's just been playing on a reel in my head.
Rolling.
Yeah. So
I heard is it the opener to that one or 2 that I heard is like super problematic, like in terms of, is it 3?
yeah, it's 3.
I'm not interested in Terrifier at all.
Me either, man.
Hey,
Me either, man.
And
I understand.
I'm like a horror junkie, and I just am not. I don't know, man. I'm not appealed. It's not appealing at all to me. Like some super evil, awful being doing awful things for the sake of being awful. Like I don't know. Like I like Saw and stuff. Like I don't have a problem with gore. It's like the intent behind it, you know.
He's trying to better the
It's
people.
very philosophical. Yeah.
but is he really trying to better the people?
Especially with that giant chain in that guy's face.
Yeah, he had a problem.
Yeah, he had
There's
a
some
problem.
moments in that movie where like it's like, okay, I don't think this guy is like the altruistic kind of guy that they're trying to make him out to be. There's multiple parts where he just straight up fucks up police officers that are innocent.
Hey,
so-
they shouldn't have been poking around where they don't belong.
Right.
That was their sin.
Exactly.
He's playing a game.
Anyway.
See, I'm pretty sure he slashed Donald Glover's throat. So, but anyway, other than that, I've been trying to like play some games, but I just haven't like, you know,
Found the spark.
just haven't found the spark for it yet.
It's break time.
I've been getting very into watching Dr. House. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're all turning a point in our lives.
Star fucking Galactica.
Well, hey, you just
Don't, Kyle, just drop it, man.
Go on.
no, never mind.
Go on.
But I was just saying, man, you know, I'm like, we're all turning a stone in our life when Connor's watching Bachelor and I'm watching medical dramas.
Hey, I'm watching Love is Blind with Rachel all the time, so it's all good.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been really trying to listen to more new albums that I haven't listened to before the end of the year. The same way that like you are with like video games, like I gotta play these video games before the end of the year so I have a good list to come out with. I'm that way with music.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta listen to like 40 or 50 albums. And then,
That's a lot of albums, Jackson.
Yeah. But that's Jackson.
Yeah, I need to go through my list again to be like, okay, what all new albums have I listened to this year?
I had a friend that was like, we want to do like a top 10 album list. And then I like looked back on the year and was like, I've only heard like 4 albums that have come out this year.
Yeah, I'm at the
just
point where
crazy.
I'm definitely going to have a top 10 list.
Yeah.
I probably could do a top 20 at this point. But I know that when we do that for the podcast, all these other guys are going to be like, dude, I maybe listen to 3 albums this year.
Cat pile.
You want to do a top 20? Fuck off. But, yeah. Just been listening to a shit ton of music and watching a lot of House. That's been my, like, comfort show before I go to sleep. It's like I'll watch an episode of House and then I go to sleep.
Yeah, I've been watching that 1997 Berserk too while I go to bed at night. Pretty good. Never seen Berserk before. You used to read it, right?
Animated one?
I read like one manga or whatever the hell it was, and
It's pretty wild,
Have
man.
you gotten to the part where it really gets dark?
Have you got to the last 3 episodes yet?
The Eclipse, is that the
Yeah.
Eclipse? No, I haven't got. I'm on like episode 10 or something. Like it's still just mercenaries
Like,
fighting wars. Well, they did fight
man.
the first demon.
It's a great show, and then you get to the last episodes, and then it becomes nihilistic to hell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does get depressing to the point
Well,
where it's like, yeah.
And I had a friend
And then
who
there's no continuation except through the manga after that. So it's like you're just left with this nihilistic ending.
I had
It's
a
like,
friend
what the
that
hell?
was telling me about Berserk, And because I told him I had just started it, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like I remember first starting it, and there's like he's like giving back shots to that snake demon, and then all of a sudden like he just kills her." And I was like, "What?" And then because that was not in the show, and then I read like the first chapter of the manga, and yeah, it's bad. All that stuff's in there, like it and it's like way more fantastical and like a lot more mature because the anime is just not really, you know. There's like occasional parts where it's like assumed nudity, but it doesn't really show anything. But dude, the manga, oh bro, shows all that shit. So I think I'm gonna finish the show, and then I'm probably gonna start buying the books so I can read the books.
If I could recommend something that I would say is 1,000 times better, Gantz. If you're gonna read a manga, read Gantz.
Gantz in my pants.
I do need to watch Gantz.
Gantz.
Is it like GANZ?
GANTZ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I've read the synopsis for it, and it sounds dope as fuck.
Like if you're gonna watch the show, like the show doesn't like the show goes on for one season, and at the very end of it, they change the story and end the show prematurely. So like if you do watch the show, when you get about 20 episodes in, then you gotta switch over to the manga because it introduces these two characters that more or less get into like they're trying to kill the main character more or less. But like in the manga, that doesn't happen, and like it goes on like 4 times longer, and it's like it goes everywhere. It's great.
Yeah, I've been really hard considering getting back into manga. I used to love reading manga. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
I really loved reading Death Note.
yeah, man,
I loved reading
I still
Death
have the
Note.
whole series, dude.
So good.
I'm letting a friend borrow it right now, like 3 at a time, so he can read through it. Because he's like, I watched the show and I didn't really like it. Like, dude, the manga is so much better. Like the tension building and all that stuff is way better in the manga.
Read that whole series in ISS.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Saturday Detention. That's where it was, dude.
I remember they had all
Every
those
3 at a time every Saturday.
all those really good deals on manga at Books A Million. You know,
Yeah, those deals were so good. Dude, I
Flying
got
off the
so
shelves,
many
yeah.
of these comic books on a great deal, dude.
dude. I remember every time I went to your guys' house, Connor had like 6 new bleaches, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, let's go, dude.
You got these for real cheap, dude.
Yeah.
Quick side note, since we were talking about anime and stuff, new one that just came out, Dawn to Dawn. I don't know if you saw anything on that. There's like 4 episodes out right now. Really great. Check it out.
The music video thing you sent was pretty interesting.
I was mainly showing that to you guys because of the part where it starts showing the world. Like, did you see how like detailed and like animated like certain sections were? I just kind of wanted to show you that because like we had talked about like how they can do way better stuff with animation now and like show like dimensional stuff going on. So that's mainly why. But I really like that song.
Dawn
too.
to Dawn.
Dawn to Dawn.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
DANDADAN.
There's like I saw that, and there's also like a couple music videos out or something like that, like official music videos.
Yeah, it's very popular right now. It's like it mixes like supernatural with like extraterrestrial stuff. It's pretty cool. Aliens and spirits and all that kind of stuff.
I don't really have much to watch as far as anime goes until the new season of My Hero comes out, and then JJK obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the what is it called? Masters of the Rohirrim or Rohirrim something rather.
Like
the
the
Lord of the
Rohirrim?
Rings, yeah, Lord of the Rings anime that's supposed to be coming out.
It looked
Rohirrim or
Yeah,
it looked cool.
yeah, it's gonna be in theaters, right?
Yeah.
Or something, dude. I'm so amped for that.
is that like a first age war thing or a second age?
I don't know. I know it has to do with like how Helm's Deep becomes Helm's Deep or something like that, but I don't know like what the conflict is. So I'm just in it for Lord of the Rings, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Connor, you had an acronym for Halloween, dude.
Yeah, I did.
Let's hear this. Let's hear this thing.
I'll have to pull it up. I'm gonna tell you guys what Halloween means to me.
Please do, Connor.
And this is from the heart. Horny alligator licks lesbians. Orgasmic wetness explodes every night.
It's a little bit better than the one that I came up with, but we both went horny for the
Yeah.
first letter. I can't remember what mine said.
Connor's having those Halloween freak-offs.
Okay. Jackson,
Hey.
try to scare us.
Try to scare you. Okay. So, I have searched the internet trying to find some like good spooky stories that I could tell for the podcast. I got 3 short stories, and then I got 12 what I'm going to call 2-sentence horror stories. They're like just super short.
Horror haikus.
I had a haiku going, man. I was going to read it in a Russian voice, but I couldn't get that last 5.
Okay. This first one is called Good Night, Sweetheart. It is by Reddit user Cold Penguin Time.
Cool.
All right. And the mouse found a nut, and the nut was good. He closed the book and placed it on the bedside table. All right, sweetheart, time for bed. She protested, as she always did at this time of night. She always wanted another story. No, come on now. I said that was the last one. Let's tuck you in. He laid her down comfortable on the pillow and draped the blanket over her. He then branded her... Holy fuck. What's that word? Oh, never mind. He then handed her Barks-a-Lot, her cuddly toy. It took me a while to realize that was a name. He then handed her Barks-a-Lot, her cuddly toy. He loved how she cuddled him closely. It was just so incredibly cute. All right, my all right, my love. We all snuggly? All right, good. Give me a big cuddle. He squeezed her and a kiss. He pecked her on the cheek and briefly stroked her hair. He smiled down at her, proud and loving. Good night, sweetheart. I'll see you in the morning. He turned off the light, waited until her breathing had slowed and the soft rhythm of sleep tiptoed out of the room and gently closed the door. Once he'd gone, she opened her eyes. The tape around her mouth made it difficult to breathe. Quietly, she learned how to do so. The baby monitor would flash red at the tiniest amount of noise. Her bound hands were wrapped around the stuffed toy he'd placed against her chest. There wasn't much she could do there. But over the many days since she'd left the bar and he'd brought her here, and she'd managed to loosen the bind on her legs tactfully, keeping them hidden under the blanket so he wouldn't notice. With little effort, she now managed to snap the now threadbare tape. Her legs were free to move. Quietly, she lifted herself up. The bed threatened to creak with every millimeter of movement. She nervously watched the monitor, just waiting for it to betray her. Finally, after what seemed like a lifetime, she rose from the bed. It was the first time she'd stood up for days, allowing herself for the few seconds, It was the first time she stood up for days, so she allowed herself a few seconds grace to let the blood flow to her limbs again. Nervously, she took the first step and immediately felt her foot brush against something. Her eyes, adjusting to the dark, saw that the room's floor was strewn with toys, like some fucked up security system. She carefully made her way to the door and slowly pulled it open, cringing from the noise as it glided across the carpet. Her heart sank when she saw the stair gate attached just beyond the door. She lifted one leg over, being careful not to kick anything. As she straddled the gate, she took a breath. One more leg. She was free. She lifted her leg and immediately kicked the door. It had quietly closed behind her. The noise caused the monitor to bathe in the room a deep, sickly red glow. A scuffling noise behind her told her she had failed. She let out a guttural scream muffled by the tape. Oh dear, did we have a nightmare? Come on, you. Back to bed. That's the end.
And this was a squirrel family?
This is not a squirrel family. That first sentence, the mouse found a nut and the nut was good, was the end to a bedtime story that the kidnapper was reading.
Okay. For some reason, I thought like a squirrel found a nut and put it in a book and then tucked his daughter in or something, dude. I didn't know what was going on at the beginning.
I got thrown. You had the same feeling that I had when I was like reading the beginning of this. I was like, wait, is this about squirrels?
Connor found himself a double twist.
All right, story two. Story two. This one is called "We Have 340 Words Left to Live" by Reddit user HauntingBuyer8532. I gotta give credit to all these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wrote it. I'm not
Authors,
writing.
yeah.
So we have 340 words left to live. 335 words to go. Leonard cracks a cold one after wiping his shotgun. He doesn't even look like he cares anymore. Gonna stick around to see it end, I ask? Fuck it, might as well, he chuckles. It's been a good one, you know. All these chapters. Could have been worse. Could have been worse words that I always live by. What are you gonna do? I ask. I kinda wanna have the last word. He scoffs. I continue. You know how I always say goodbye to people before I leave? Well, I was thinking I could do the same thing. It would be polite. It would be poetic in a way. Since when did your ass give a shit about being polite? He says. Well, when death stares at you in the face, you tend to change. He says, we don't die. There's no heaven or hell when you're not real. We just stop existing. Silence. How many words we got? 181. Leonard starts tearing up. How's the wife and kid? Mona wanted to go out on her own terms. Found her this morning, but Lonnie, she's too young to really understand she's not real. I shot her while she wasn't looking. If the end wasn't approaching, I would have turned the shotgun on him in the instant he said that. But it's the end of the story. I get it. How many words we got left? 107. Words aren't that easy to keep track of. They're not in uniform. Several words can describe a single moment. I guess that's why Leonard killed himself. He couldn't really pinpoint when it would end. The bang from the shotgun almost deafened me. The splatter of blood nearly blinded me. I couldn't even make myself look at his body. 52 words left. Why did the author have to make us aware it was fake? Why did he make us aware of when the story ended? I just want to be real. But I know that's a far-off dream. 10 words left. I close my eyes. 3, 2, goodbye.
I thought we were going to tell like Halloween stories.
These are horror stories, bro. You trying to tell me?
That's like a murder-suicide, right?
I mean, I thought it was a pretty good story though. Like it was cool. It was a cool idea, you know?
Yeah. I like the premise of it. The words thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many words left? That's cool.
I feel generally, maybe as I was reading these, they went a lot better in my head. You know? Sometimes, I don't know, maybe we needed Neil Patrick Harris or Patrick Stewart to be here to read these.
Yeah. I was just hoping for like more like witches and vampires and werewolves and stuff, and it's just like
Possession.
But I don't know. I kind of didn't like the whole constantly talking about how many words were left, because I felt like you could have been using those to actually tell more of a story in a sense. And all I really got out of that was dude killed his kid and then he kills himself, and then dude can't see because of all the blood or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it comes from self-aware characters that realize that they're in a novel that is ending, and they have become so self-aware that they don't know what to do. I don't know.
But it's a short story.
Yeah,
I liked
it's a short
it.
story.
Okay.
24 hours. Yesterday, Todd made it his mission to sleep with as many women as possible.
Fuck yeah, Todd.
He managed a whooping 37 in just 24 hours. An insurmountable amount for an average day, but this day was not an average day. He was going to say no to some sex. He didn't know he'd father 6 illegitimate children, or he wouldn't have done it. Yesterday, Anne snapped and slit the throat of her toxic ex-husband. The neighbors walking by saw the whole thing through the window, but simply looked at each other, shrugged, and kept walking. and continued her day as usual, leaving like the still warm body on the floor. She didn't know she would be arrested for murder, or she wouldn't have done it. Yesterday, Lacey took her husband and kids on a drive on the winding roads next to the ocean. Her hands shook as she gripped the wheel, while her kids sat oblivious in the back. She and her husband shared a meaningful look as she jerked the car to the right into the crashing ocean waves. She didn't know she would be shunned while lying 6 feet under, or she wouldn't have done it. Yesterday, the news was announced that the unsurvivable asteroid was headed straight to Earth. Yesterday, the world erupted into unprecedented chaos as everyone had decided what to do with their last 24 hours. But today, utter and complete pandemonium occurred when the asteroid missed. The end.
Don't look up.
Find your own fucking Reddit user stories next time. Think you can do better? Find your own next time.
I like that.
I read like 20 of these things before I settled on these three.
You know, regardless of whether or not that was a scary story, it's worth considering how messed up the world would be if that actually happened, that an asteroid was going to hit Earth and then missed. Like, people would have looted everything, like so much crime.
All the babies that would have been born because of all the sex people are having
my
that day
God.
before. That
I know, it'd be
day.
a second baby boom, dude, for real.
Right.
Like,
What was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio on Netflix where the asteroid's coming to Earth?
yeah, don't look
You
up.
already said it.
Yeah, Don't Look Up. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, there's not a lot I remember from that movie, but I do remember towards the end that they were like outside of like a big skyscraper building, and then inside the building you just heard just a bunch of grunting and moaning, and I was like, they're having a party.
That was a great movie.
Okay, 2-sentence horror stories. Connor was like, put some real authors in there. Well, here's a published one for you, Connor. The first one might as well give it to the one that really started it all. It was published by Frederick Brown, 1948. 2-sentence horror story. The last man on Earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door. That's the first. 2-sentence
Ooh,
horror
that's a
story.
good one.
The devil.
That sent chills down my spine.
Who was it?
Is the last woman on Earth?
Could be a dog.
Okay. I give it one an 8.
Yeah, I think a 7. That's deserving of a 7.
Yeah.
An IGN 7.
Maybe a 7.5. Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah.
Connor, what do you think?
What would you Rotten Tomatoes score that?
Is it certified fresh? Is it certified Connor
Connor
fresh?
was like, he's like, I see the basis. I understand why I was the first one, but you could do better. So
I'm not scared, dude.
I don't know if I can scare you.
That kind of I got a little unhinged there. Like when I realized that you said the last man on Earth, and I was like, ooh, shit.
Could be a woman.
What's more scarier than that?
Like, I've already thought of a woman, a dog.
God. Being the last man on Earth, and then all of a sudden you realize you have a woman to have you company with.
Yeah, that's terrifying. This is just,
My God.
this is just a woodpecker.
It's a hungry bear.
All right, this next one is by Reddit user Won't Think Straight. It wasn't the revelation that Brian could speak with the dead that disturbed a child psychologist. It was his confession that he had killed his friends and family to make sure he could speak with them always.
Scary.
Was that one scary?
That one was crisp.
I think that one's a 5.5, 6.
5.5, 6.
Yeah. I'd give it maybe a 6.
I'm not ranking these anymore. I think it's insulting for me to rank them at this point. So
Well, here's one more by Won't Think Straight. Help me, I'm trapped, cried the little girl through the freshly uncovered gaps in the rubble. Fuck that, yelped the archaeologist as he hurriedly placed back the ancient tombstone.
He was a skinwalker.
It could have been.
So is that one about a mummy? What was that about?
That could have been about someone that was trapped in an underground tomb.
It was
and
Imhotep.
maybe finally saw some light at the end of the tunnel before that quickly got dashed away by someone thinking it was some evil entity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
No, I'm saying.
Know what I'm saying?
No, I mean,
Know what I mean? All right. This next one is by This Is Not Chicken. Please, God, don't let it look in the closet, I silently prayed. Please, God, don't let it look in the closet, it parroted back from the next room.
Yeah, that was good.
that's a good one.
That was good.
See, what would help with that story is if when you repeated that phrase, if you would have used like a
More
little girl's
sinister voice.
like a little girl's voice, or like some weird, 'cause I am your daughter.
No, you're not. Michael Jackson. Okay. This next one here is by ITFK00. I tucked my child into bed, and as I turned to leave, they said, "Daddy, I think there's someone in my closet." When I opened the door to check, I only found an empty closet and a note pinned to the inside, written in my handwriting. She isn't real.
Mommy?
The child.
Oh,
R. Kelly.
tap in the closet.
I was just standing here.
That one was
Found
pretty.
a note
That
in
one's
the
pretty messed
closet.
up, man. That was a psychological one.
It says my daughter isn't real. So I pulled out my gun. Okay. This next one is by Diamond, but there's an X right after Dia in the middle of this word. So
Diasmond.
Dixmond. All right. They say you only die when you're forgotten. I lie in my coffin as I have for the last 1,000 years, waiting for the sweet release of death. I wish I never cured cancer. That takes the concept of you only live for as long as you're remembered, so it takes that to a literal thing.
Oh.
Okay, I get you.
So think about it. George Washington, if this
Still
based
alive.
off this, is in a grave right now, just wishing that people would stop talking about him.
But they never will.
They never will.
Because he cut down that cherry tree.
He's on our money too, so
Yeah, that's true.
wooden teeth.
This next one's by Deoreth D. Dragson. I don't know. You figure out a way to say that, but it's hard to say. Some of these Reddit names are hard to say. So, all my life, my parents have told me not to open the basement door, but I got curious and disobeyed them. What is that glowing ball in the sky? And why does it hurt my eyes? He was locked in the basement.
Werewolf.
Or he could have been a werewolf. Okay.
Alien encounter.
Saw an owl at the window.
3:33 in the morning.
This next one is by an unknown Reddit user. They must have deleted their profile, but this is still up. I was born blind, but was lucky enough to have a loving mother who took care of my every need. Imagine the betrayal I felt when a stitch slipped and a ray of light hit my eye for the first time. All right, we're getting close to the end. I can tell you guys are like, fucking get through this shit.
No, I don't give a damn. Oh, good. Do whatever.
This is Kyle's Emos poems all over again.
Hey, those were fun, dude.
That shit made me want to cut my wrist and like my eye.
To darkness.
All right.
That is messed up, though, man. If you think you're blind this whole time and then, man, that would suck.
Yeah.
Else.
Especially when like 95% of like people that are blind don't have like pitch black blindness. They have like they can see something. They just, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's just blurs. All right. This one's by Mr. Robot 2303. As I slit her throat, I looked in her unblinking eyes, and I realized too late that she wanted to live. I knew it to be true because mirrors don't lie.
Good one.
This one's for you, Connor. Tinder is completely useless, and I don't have a single match. If I don't find another way to start a campfire tonight, I'll freeze to death. Makes you think? You thought it was the app. You thought it was the app. I thought it was the app at first. They had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
So did you, audience.
All right, this one is by a Brawl Stars player. Battery at 1%. I looked at the Earth one last time before my suit ran out of power. Just super quick and simple.
Astronaut.
Yep, on the moon or Mars, maybe an asteroid. He doesn't tell me where he's at, but he's looking at Earth.
Could be Europa.
Do you just think it would be painful to die in space, or just like kind of quick and like it'd be like, oh shit, but like only for a few seconds? Or would it be like
I think it'd be very
miserably
painful.
excruciating?
I think it'd be very painful. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Because you see, like, you know, people like sometimes people just like and like freeze, but that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, unless you're Star-Lord.
Yeah,
Doesn't like your body like puff up and like all the oxygen like leave your body and shit? Like,
something like that. You like
Yeah.
swell up and
yeah. I think it'd be very painful.
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like a balloon, you just pop.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think about like, I don't know, helmet breaking in space and dying that way. I always think about going towards a black hole and then getting spaghettified. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. That's what I think of when I think of dying in space. Spaghettification.
Spaghetti, spaghetti.
Okay. And this is the last one that I put on here. And I put it on here because I've been watching House. So I literally read it in House's voice. It seems you have discovered an entirely new type of termite. The doctor turned around with the x-rays. This also explains the aching you've been feeling in your bones.
In your booty.
In your booty.
No one's raunchy.
And,
Bone termites, crazy.
and that's all I've got for the Jackson Brayman Horror Story Power Hour. I mean,
I just wanted them more Halloween themed is all, man.
I
You
wanted
know?
more. Where's the ghosts?
I wanted more pumpkins.
well, when I was looking for horror stories, it turns out that 75% of the ones I was reading were all about fucking like some kind of like spousal abuse, you know?
A lot of.
It was always like my husband beats me and my wife has been trying to poison me, and I'm just like, it's like, how can this be 75% of the fucking stories that are on here? But then again, they're all upvoted by Reddit users
Who don't know
and-
nothing.
huh?
Who don't know nothing.
Yeah, I feel like what I should have done is I should have just like made my own list of like my favorite scariest SCPs is what I should have done.
Yeah.
SCP.
I'm the one that fucking loves that universe, so
a fucking.
Like, where's all the grannies taking the kids and
But
cutting them up and all that? Yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah. Where's all that?
where's that happening?
I could have just read Hansel and Gretel, I guess. Hansel. Hansel's so hot in the oven right now, so hot. Now, Kyle, you had something for Halloween.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, man.
Or did you just put everything on me like, Jackson, you find these stories? And then you make the last half of this podcast extra lame.
Dude, okay. I did have a question for you guys, though. What are your favorite horror scenes that you could possibly think of from movies? Like, your personal favorite horror scenes from your favorite movies?
Ooh, dinner table scene from Alien, man. The one that kicked off my fucking... Like, my whole fucking nightmares from watching horror movies.
Are you talking about the android? Or was that...
I'm talking about the chest burster scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think my favorite horror movie scene from any movie ever is watching it come out of that projector and like break that kid's arm in the kitchen or whatever inside that house. That's the scene I think about all the time, dude. And obviously him inside, in the basement, whatever.
So, running through the water.
Yeah.
You talking about the reboots?
Yeah. I really, really like the reboots.
There's a lot of good scenes in the reboots, man.
There sure are, dude. Yeah. The ending sucks, obviously, but
I love in the second one when he like he opens his mouth and then all of a sudden you're like, you stop whatever you're doing, you're just completely hypnotized. And dude, that's just awesome.
yeah.
I always think back on like The Exorcist when she like vomits. Like the vomit scene is like slimy green, nasty. But I could name like 20 different scenes from The Exorcist because I think it's my favorite horror movie ever.
Yeah. Another for me is in Paranormal Activity. I think it might be the second one or the third. It's the third one. Yeah, the third one. Just at the very end, whenever he realizes that shit's hit the fan, all those like old ladies are around him inside that house.
Oh,
you know what I'm
God,
saying?
yeah.
And he's realized he's completely fucked.
Yeah.
And then he realizes, his freaking wife is possessed. And it's just like, I'm fucked. And then boom, he's dead.
Man.
Like, that fucking third Paranormal Activity is so insane.
It's the best,
From
man.
that movie,
I love the third one.
The moment when the little girl runs into the invisible nothing, and then
fuck yes.
Yeah,
dragged up
dude.
on
Yeah,
there.
she's just hanging, dude. Oh,
Dude.
and how scared the guy gets in the bathroom, dude,
Yeah.
gets me so hard.
They get so progressively more crazy, man. Like,
I wish I could remember now to said that. Oh, that's awesome. Jackson, give us another one.
Okay, you guys may or may not remember this movie. It was on in like the 90s. It was a horror movie made for kids, and I think it was just called Witches or something like that. But pretty much what happens is that this little boy, he gets turned into a mouse by all these witches, and the witches are trying to find their way to eat children. But there's a moment when all these women are kind of like in a conference room, I guess is what you want to call it, or a bunch of places where there's a bunch of steeples, kind of like a church, but it's not a church. And then all of them start taking their normal faces off, and they all just have the most ugly, grotesque faces. And
Yes, I've seen
as a
that.
kid, that horrified me, man.
Yeah, I've seen that scene.
speaking of as a kid, man, Darkness Falls. When I remember,
choice.
like, I was like, dude, I could not sleep for weeks because I saw that movie when I was like 11 or 12, and I remember the part where it's like the beginning of the movie, and it attacks his mom and stuff, and then he's in the bathroom with the lights on, and she can't go in the
She's
light, and she's
hovered
above the fucking bathroom door in the hallway just screeching, and her cloak is flapping, like waiting for the lights to go out so she can get him.
I always think of the staircase
Ooh.
scene in that movie, man, where they have to jump down
Yeah.
the flight of stairs from light to light.
Yeah. I need
Yeah.
to watch that again, man.
It's been a long time since I watched it. I might watch it too, man.
I just remember that scene of her hovering over the door, like, because I would sleep with the lights on after that for a while, man. Like, it got me pretty good, and I just remember thinking, like, is she out there,
Yeah.
above my door?
See, the thing with that movie, Connor was at your house, and he watched it with you guys, and he came back, and I wasn't there for that, and he came back, and you could tell it rattled him. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah,
And because of that, I've never watched it. I've never seen it.
yeah, man.
That's good, man. It really
I
is.
really need to watch it, yeah.
Also, you gotta give it to the Ring.
Big time.
You know, Samara
Legitimately scary. Yeah.
climbing out of that damn TV.
Yeah.
Dude,
Juwan. Oh,
the scene where it flashes back to the first girl who's killed, and she's in the closet, and she's like, you know, like it shows like a quick flash.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that image stuck in my head for months, bro.
Dude, same.
It was.
Isn't it at the end where they rotate that guy around? Or is that at the beginning? The guy's like in the chair and they rotate him around.
No,
He's got that face.
Like, you know, the beginning of the movie, how it actually opens and the one girl dies and the other one's kind of like, yeah, I saw it happen. Freaking, there's a moment where like the mother is talking about how she found her daughter in the closet, and then all of a sudden just a quick boom.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Bro, it was real messed up. I don't know why they do that to me.
She's like, "Are you okay, Katie?"
Yeah.
Wake up, honey. Are you okay?
Oh man.
never seen The Ring either.
I think that part you're talking about was later on when the guy is killed because she comes out of the TV for the first time and gets him.
Yeah,
and then
that's
she
after
goes
they
to his
think-
apartment the next day and finds him.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
that's like the moment, like, because they think everything's all hunky dory and it's done.
Right.
Freaking, I've never watched any of the other Rain movies. I know there's like at least 2 more that came out after that, but man, that first one was fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Still holds up too.
Yeah, I really like The Thing. The original with Kurt Russell. And, you know, there's a lot of scenes in there, but like there's this one scene where like the head like grows like legs and shit. And
Yeah, man.
it's like a spider.
That is the shit,
Yeah.
dude.
It's pretty cool.
God, I'm gonna watch that movie.
But there's
again.
like so many good practical effects in that
Where are
movie.
they at in that scene? Are they in the
Antarctica.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying like, are they in like the medical bay? Like, where is that scene happening? Is that in the jail cell? Like,
I think it's like the like the place where they dissected the creature originally and got
yeah.
it out of the ice. I want to say.
that movie's so good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring this up, but I don't really have a specific part of the movie. It's just the whole movie in general. The Faculty.
Every time the lightning strikes and you can see their face and it's like all got all the teeth and shit. And
Yeah, I think you can see that. That's like towards the end of the movie, like when they're at the high school, locked themselves in, they're trying to find the host. But David, if you've not seen The Faculty, check that out, man. That's probably my favorite Robert Rodriguez movie, and it's an all-star cast.
yeah. I rewatched it earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Isn't there
good.
like a pretty dope finger scene in that movie?
a dope finger.
Like where they get their fingers cut off and shit?
Oh, they're Jon Stewart. Yeah. What's his name? Josh Hartnett. Young Josh Hartnett. He takes the blade off of one of those paper cutters.
Yeah.
And he swings it at Jon Stewart, cuts off his fingers, and then his fingers start
Parasiting.
crawling. Yeah,
dude.
because he's like a parasite type thing now. So
Yeah, Jon Stewart's in that movie, right? Yeah.
yeah.
The Green Lantern.
The scene for me that really rocked me was the scene in the basement in Signs.
Oh my God, yes! I'm so
When
glad
the
you brought
kid's
that
stuck
up.
to the wall and like you see the fingers come out and wrap over his face.
Dude.
But as an adult, the scene in that movie that really freaks me out that I never noticed as a kid, thank God, was the scene where there's a monster outside my window. Can you like? I never saw the alien on top of the freaking barn
Dude.
out there. Thank God I never saw it.
I saw that shit in theaters, and I remember like being like, okay, some weird stuff's happening. The monster outside my window scene, I remember I noticed it, and I literally like as a kid I was like, like, bro. And from that point on, I was like peak anxiety the whole movie, dude. And the basement scene, I almost puked watching that shit as a kid, dude. Like I was so scared in the theaters, just like, oh my God, like I you can't like explain that to people. It was like in the moment type thing. Like, yeah, I remember I was eating a bag of hot Cheetos and I was just like, put the bag down because I was like, I can't eat anything. I can't, dude. Like,
About to puke, man.
It was suffocating, dude.
Yeah, that movie is still to this day my favorite horror movie or scary movie of all time. Even though the more I watch it, the more it's not scary. But like, it's man,
It's up there.
It's
dude.
exciting.
yeah. The Scary Movie 3 of it all kind of fucked it up for me. You know?
Yeah.
Her getting in the car and her hat's getting bigger and bigger. Like,
Yeah.
God.
The alien walking past in the park while the dogs are humping. Like,
That was disturbing. Let's see that
was
again.
disturbing.
And twins.
Yeah, dude, but like Joaquin Phoenix's performance in that movie specifically, like you sort of almost take some of the way he feels because of the way he feels like on screen. Like whenever he sees the alien walk by at the birthday party and he like loses it, bro. Like he's like so disturbed that I'm like, yeah, man, I'm with it. Yeah.
And it's crazy because in today's world, people are so desensitized to it, and like the evidence is all around us. It seems like you know, there's a lot of footage and a lot of like proof now, but it just seems like people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But in that movie, it's like it's hitting. Everybody's like, "Dude, I'm fucking locked in, bro." Like, especially Meryl, he's just like, "I'm locked in on this shit." Yeah, and they're fucking fighting him and stuff like that. And it's just like
That has like probably 3 or 4 of the most iconic horror scenes ever made.
especially
like,
the finger scene into the door.
Fingers, yep.
Yeah, and when he the knife turns and you can see him for a split second. Yeah.
When the girl screams and her face is on his back, like because he takes on the surroundings, dude.
All right. I've got like a pretty satisfying like horror scene that to me I think is a very satisfying ending scene. But to those of you who have seen Hostel Part 2,
Yep. I've seen Hostel.
you see the first one?
I've seen both of them.
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
Me and Kyle Burleson watched them.
The dual scene where it shows the doctor that has been all about murdering people the entire movie all of a sudden switches and is like, I don't want to do this, and then he gets fucked up in the elevator by the dogs, to the guy that is like, no, I don't want to do this, really the entire movie all of a sudden fucking switches and is like, I'm gonna kill this
dude.
chick. And then how that switches where the girl gets out of the chair, she puts him in the chair and she cuts his dick off.
That's that scene.
Was the Achilles tendon the first or the second one?
That's the first one.
Yeah, that was
That's
pretty
the
messed up,
first
too.
torture scene.
And of course, the girl that gets her eye.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's rough. What about the Achilles? When you say Achilles scene, what about the Achilles scene with Paris Hilton
House of Wax.
in House of Wax?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh,
No, Paris Hilton gets the pole through her head.
Okay, yeah.
Someone else gets their Achilles cut.
that pole scene is fucking gnarly, dude.
Not the longest pole she's had in her mouth.
Yeah, that House of Wax movie is pretty intense. Yeah.
She's a DJ now, Jackson. Put some respect on.
I don't gotta do that.
a lot of scenes from 13 Ghosts were pretty great too. Mm-hmm. Cabin in the Woods. God.
Ghost Ship, the scene where everybody gets their fucking
Yes.
the wire scene.
Yes.
Wire scene. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
More.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the new Evil Dead movies, man. There's just everything in those movies just so good.
I was just gonna say I rewatched the 2013 one a few nights ago, and there's some pretty good scenes in that one, dude. Like
Almost every
when
single
the chick
thing.
is stabbing the dude in the face with the syringe and the needle is in his eye.
That's the go-to scene for me.
Oh,
yeah.
bro.
Man. I'll still never forget watching that movie in theaters, and then like that guy walks into the room and you just hear the audio of like chick slicing her face, and I just that like I can't watch that scene without just mentally hearing Kyle next to me going, oh God, oh man,
Oh boy.
Because at that point, I hadn't been watching horror movies. Like I was at a firm spot in my life my whole life of horror movies aren't for me, and I don't need to watch them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's
got
the
him to watch
worst
Evil
one to
Dead,
go
and he
in
was
on,
like,
man.
oh.
Yeah. After I watched Evil Dead, I was like, horror movies are for me. You know,
Yeah.
I can watch this shit now.
I think if I had like, I don't know, if somebody was like, I'm not into horror movies, I've never seen many horror movies, I wouldn't take them to Evil Dead first. You know what I mean? Like,
I walked out of it with a smile on my face.
or maybe you
like,
ripped the Band-Aid off, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I walked out like that movie was legit. And then once I saw it, it was like, here we go. This is my shit.
Yeah, dude. And in all honesty, 2013 Evil Dead probably is like one of the greatest horror movies made since the year 2000.
Yeah.
Right, I agree.
Another scene for me is from a really recent movie. The movie with the alien movie that I love a lot, the new one.
No one will save you.
Yeah, no one will save
Oh,
you.
yeah.
The scene where she's under the bed and sees the alien's feet and then the feet have more like, and they like raise up.
Oh yeah.
That scene is just like, oh shit.
Man, the part
good.
like when she like runs into her room and then you just hear the
Oh my god.
just super fast up the stairs.
And especially when she's hiding behind that refrigerator door, and the door gets stuck, and she's like in between the cabinet and the refrigerator door, and like it like kind of looks over at her. It's like, holy shit!
Can you imagine that movie on a AAA budget though? Like, because I know it was fairly it wasn't indie, but it was like kind of a AA film, right? Like
it's a Hulu movie.
yeah, that movie like with a AAA budget released in theaters. Oh man, that would have been like an easy 9 out of 10 film. Like
Even for me, it's a 9 out of 10. But like, I get what you're saying though, but like the scene at the end, we're like,
yep.
it's like, oh, it's so fucking creepy looking, dude. Oh, it's fucked up.
I'm glad that girl got the role of Abby for The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, after I
just don't
watched that
think she's-
movie, I've just felt like, I was like, man, I hope this girl blows up.
Yeah,
after
she
this.
really did good in that movie.
But as far as Abby goes, man, Abby's like fucking built. But we'll
may-
see.
she
That
may
could
be
have
hitting
been
the
a video
gym,
game
dude.
decision during a time in video games where they're like, we have to make female characters less attractive.
Well, there's a
That's-
reason behind her getting so built in Last of Us Part 2, but
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying that is during a time where we're in the time of like, okay, we got to stop making girls look hot.
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm into stacked bitches. I don't know, you know.
I got no
Like,
problem with muscle mommies,
I
man.
thought Abby was. If I didn't, never mind. I'm not gonna go there.
Every time I see
fucking
Jade
hater.
Cargill on wrestling,
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
like, oh.
of course,
Like-
you go through ebbs and flows with Abby.
Yes,
it's like, I fucking
dude.
hate her. Okay, now I like her. It's
Yes.
like, oh fuck yeah.
Yep. Anyways,
Any other scenes come to your guys' mind? What's you guys have seen The Grudge, right?
Yeah. Bro, that part where the first Asian lady gets pulled up into the attic.
Yeah.
And then when you see her later on in the police
yeah,
station
yeah.
with her jaw ripped off.
oh dude, have you guys seen The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene where she's
Yeah,
the
the
clap
clap scene is a
scene,
good
and then
scene. That's,
she's
in my opinion, that's
on
the
the
only
wardrobe.
good scene of the whole movie.
yeah.
I'm not a big Conjuring guy. Like, honestly, I've been kind of getting more cheesed off at the more James Wan horror movies that keep coming out.
See, dude, he came onto the scene like so strong with The Conjuring, in my opinion, and then Insidious.
Saw?
Well, yeah, but like I'm talking about when he came out, like because he did Insidious, he did The Conjuring, he did the Annabelle stuff, he did Aquaman. Like he sort of exploded out. I don't know.
Aquaman was pretty scary.
Huh?
Aquaman was pretty scary.
Didn't he do like one of the Fast and Furious movies? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think he did.
Did he do Tokyo Drift?
I thought he did Fast 5.
But yeah, the wardrobe scene where she jumps down off the wardrobe, and then obviously I just brought up Insidious, dude. The red face over the shoulder, that dude, I almost pissed myself the first time I saw that. Like,
Man. Yeah, that first movie was legit.
The scene in Smile where the chick's fucking head turns into a giraffe.
dude, the freaking scene from It Follows when the big dude walks through the door, like, oh my god. Yeah, love horror, man.
Yeah, bruh.
it's awesome.
There's a lot of, just like most popular genres, man. There's a lot of fantastic stuff, and then you got a lot of dog shit that you got to sift through.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like with other like movies, it's very easy to pick out like what is shit and what is good. You can tell from the trailer. With horror, it's a completely different animal. You just
Yeah.
have to gamble.
Dude, like I remember being so excited for Exorcist Believer because I was like, maybe this is it. Maybe they're coming, because Exorcist is one of my favorite movies ever.
You talking
Probably
about
my
the latest one, right?
Yeah,
The one with 2 girls.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
I'm
fir-
with you, man. I was
The first one is
disappointed.
like one of my favorite movies ever made, and probably my favorite horror movie ever made.
The theme with a lot of these possession type movies, there's not a lot they can do new with them. Late Night with the Devil,
Yeah.
try to
Late
do
Night
something
with the
new.
Devil, yeah.
And they did a pretty good job of it, but as far as like someone gets possessed, now we got to do an exorcist on them, they can't do anything new anymore with them because there's not any more they can add.
Emily Rose was pretty good.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I feel like that's where it peaks.
Speaking of scenes, man, when her boyfriend wakes up and she's lying on the floor like, oh God.
That's not the one that got me, man. The one that got me was when she was in the classroom and it was raining outside. She looks at the window and like a creepy face pops up on it, and then she looks at her classmate, and then the classmate just goes, bro!
Yeah. And then she's walking back to her dorm room and everyone's faces are like, yeah.
Everyone she passes has a fucking crazy face.
Rachel, when you watched that movie recently, that movie's dope as fuck.
I saw that in the theater, man, and I was shitting my pants, dude.
That movie's dope.
Yeah, it's great.
What are you about to say, Connor?
Justin Lin directed Fast 5 and Fast 6, and James Wan directed Fast 7 or Furious 7.
All right.
So there we go.
Wow.
I knew he directed one of them. I
knew he did too.
All right, you guys ready to go ahead and move into Yo Dude? Check this out.
Okay.
Don't got one.
I'm going to try to find one before the end of this song. Before the end of this song, I'm going to find one.
Yo, dude.
Yo, dude, check this out. James Wan directed Furious 7. Go check it out.
Yo, dude, check this out.
Saw, Insidious, Fast 7.
Yeah, check that out. No, I just found this out the other day that you guys know Samurai Champloo, that sort of older anime. Yeah. You know the intro music that slaps real hard. I guess that was one of the earliest examples of lo-fi music, and that artist that wrote that was the man who is like known as the person who popularized lo-fi.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Would you look at that?
Anime openings.
Look at that.
Anime openings are usually not that good, so when you get one that like bangs, it like becomes really popular and mainstream. You know,
Like the Cowboy Bebop intro.
Yeah,
like
I was
the
just
Cowboy
about to say
Bebop,
that. Yeah.
and the most recently the Dawn to Dawn intro.
I did like that Dawn to Dawn. It's pretty good.
All I can think of is the second, like more metalcore version of the Death Note intro, where I swear he's saying a derogatory slur for gay people, but
Yo, dude, check this out. Did you guys see that Prada is making spacesuits for NASA?
Really?
Yeah, they're doing a collaboration with Axiom Space, and they're going to be doing the outfits,
Sweet.
and they're going to be looking fabulous.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
But
Astronauts wear Prada.
yeah, but here's the one that really is my favorite, Yo, dude. Did you guys see that the creator of, or the showrunner and stuff for Battlestar Galactica is doing the God of War series?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ronald Moore.
nice.
Yeah,
right.
dude. He did For All Mankind, my favorite freaking show on Apple Plus.
good.
But man, with given a good premise, man, he can make some freaking rad shit, dude. He made that. I was about to say Outlander show that my wife loved a lot. But man, he can make some good stuff, and I would love to see what he's gonna do with Kratos. Man, I wonder if they're gonna make it Norse version of Kratos, or if they're gonna do the first couple seasons as God of War. You know what I'm saying? And then show the switch. But man, what do you guys want to see from that? Do you guys want to see the crazy Kratos first, or the tempered?
I would want the more tempered one first, because I mean, I just feel like if you were to go to like the first set of games, and try to turn those into a movie or a show, it would be so fucking batshit bananas over the top.
It's just a lot of yelling.
Yeah, but like also, I think that like when I can't remember his name. The two guys made the first couple games. They were like literally, and they've said this in interviews. Yeah, all they cared about was like action. They wanted like a Spike TV, show as a video game, like just pure testosterone. So I think it'd be interesting to see what it'd be, because honestly, I feel like the God of War 2016 is like kind of already a show in a way. It's very, very dramatic and very like theatrical. So what would you just be like watching the? Well, I say that, and The Last of Us felt different, but who knows?
It's just bringing that story to a group of people that just simply don't play video games. So
True, yeah, true.
I feel like the new God of War series is more character driven. You know what I'm saying?
It's more grown up.
It's more grown up for sure, and especially the second game with how it goes with Odin and everything like that. I think that'd be really cool for TV. Take out a lot of the fucking bullshit in the second game. There's a lot of bullshit in that second game.
Plus, if you made one for like the first series of games in Greece, it would probably be like 6 seasons long.
Yeah, no
and
shit.
And then if you just started with Norse, you could do 1 season, 2 season.
I just really want to see a live action version of Kratos fighting Poseidon.
Yeah.
Like in the giant fucking water horse and shit. Like that thing is crazy in God of War 3, man.
Yeah, that first 2016 God of War that they did, like where they kind of like redid it with the sun, you know, I would love to see that stretched into like just 2 seasons and then move into the next part. I still need to play the second God of War game that came out after that, but
I just want to see a live action version of Atreus fire in the air into the sky and seeing the 2 wolves, you know, come across the sky and change it. That seems.
I get where you guys are coming from. I'd really like the first trilogy just because of like everything that happens to Kratos and like the betrayal and like how the gods are really trying to fuck him over in that trilogy specifically. Like I would prefer that and just to see that dynamic because you also get the Titans too. Mm-hmm. There's like a lot of really cool shit that you'd be skipping over, and it's like you could always do the Norse mythology after that, and you could always do an abbreviated trilogy at the beginning. I mean, you don't have to show every fight scene, you know?
Right.
Every time he's pushing a crate on a fucking ship or whatever. I mean, you don't have to do all that. I mean,
Right. Because he does fight like banshees, and you could do a lot of cool shit.
Dude, you could cap the first episode off when he fights the fucking the Leviathan or whatever on the ship, like you know, and then flashback.
Because he also fights Medusa.
Yeah, I was gonna say Medusa, yeah.
Who doesn't love a good Medusa fight? Mm-hmm. And like, I would love to see him use Medusa's head on stuff, and you know, like,
And then see just him change as well. I think that'd be a big monumental part of the story. It's like you go from him during that trilogy, and then you fast forward. It's like, oh, he changed a lot, and then you could get into all that.
Yeah, by the end of the third game, he's a way different person. Mm-hmm. Super cool.
I hope they have foresight, and because, I mean, Ronald Moore, he can put together a big 5-6 season thing. You know what I'm saying, and make it all cohesive. I really hope they do a good job with it.
I mean, make it a Game of Thrones, dude. Make it go for 5-6 seasons easy, you know?
I'll take it.
But yeah, that'd be really cool. Like 3 or 4 good seasons of Kratos being like just screaming like crazy, and then boom, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you have all the gods just plotting against him and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Man, and that would be cool if they did it like that, and then when they went to the new God of War series, they made it a one-shot, you know, tried to make it look like a one-shot, you know, like how the game did. Mm-hmm. But I would love to see the live-action version of that giant-ass snake.
yeah, dope.
The world serpent or whatever.
Just the guttural, like,
Yeah.
It just sounds so cool.
All right. Yo, dude, check this out.
Okay.
The film Seen It in the Rain. Everyone know it? The musical from back in the day? Only one song in that film was actually a new song, and all of the other songs, including Seen It in the Rain, had already been used in previous films. Not just previously recorded, but actually have been used in films already.
Wow.
They just copied everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. I've definitely softened on like certain musicals, or my stance on musicals, you know? I used to, like, if you had asked me in high school, I'd be like, dude, that's for chicks and I hate them.
But
I don't
Moulin
want to
Rouge-
watch them.
Moulin Rouge slaps, though.
It's Sweeney
I've
Todd.
never seen Moulin Rouge.
High School Musical.
I still
Gotta
refuse,
get your head in the game.
still refuse to watch that. I'll never watch that. No offense. I like Zac Efron now, but I'll never watch his fucking beginnings.
I love Sweeney Todd though, man.
Sweeney Todd, yes. I was like, Sweeney Todd was
a good one,
fantastic. And also, like, I recently, not too long ago, not too recent, but not too long ago, I watched The Sound of Music. And
Great movie.
it's just such a fantastic movie,
Mary
man.
Poppins, great movie.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Great
What's
movie.
crazy is, like, I found out that, I mean, I found out the fact, and then I was like, you know what? I kind of do want to watch the movie, but not because I found out about this fact. The house that where most of the movie is shot in, that ends up becoming the Nazi headquarters whenever World War II breaks out.
I think I had heard that at some point, yeah. It's pretty messed up.
It's fucking, I don't know why, but there's so much like stuff that's like attached to Hollywood and like show business and media that just intertwiningly happens to be mixed in with like random Nazi stuff. For instance, all of the buildings in New York, and I've learned this from like listening to like Louis C.K. If you go into the Saturday Night Live building, I forget the name of the actual building, but if you go to that studio, inside, like if you cut a hole in the wall, you can find Nazi swastikas on all the steel beams that are in there because we bought those during a time we weren't at war with Germany at the time, and all their steel that came out of there was swastika branded.
Yeah.
So
they had a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden in like, I want to say 1939 or 1940 or something like that, like pre-war. So I mean, fascism still exists in America today, man. In a lot of ways,
it's fucking wild.
Yeah,
but it's just, I know like just like a bunch of random, pretty much like tabloid headline articles. It's like, man, that's fucking wild that exists. I think they have it set, like they did their best to try to either remove the like swastikas from like, because Louis C.K. told that story, it got out, and then they tried to do their best to like, all right, let's go ahead and just erase that then.
Let's de-drywall all these fucking rooms.
They really did try to do that, yeah.
damn.
So there's an extra yo dude for you. Go to Saturday Night Live and check out the Nazi steel.
Yeah, wow. David, thank you for being on this episode of Crashing with Friends podcast.
You're very welcome.
Check it out. Like and subscribe. Connor, you got a word of wisdom for us?
Go build a mech.
Do not use Nazi steel.
No Nazi steel.
Don't do it.
And that'll be it.
And watch Dawn to Dawn.
I'll definitely check out Dawn to Dawn. The way you talked about it made it sound pretty fucking awesome, so.
Cool.
Check it out.
Cool. And Gantz.
David, got some words of wisdom for us?
No.
All right.
Only take one piece of candy, you fucking greedy.
Yeah, be safe out there, man. Be safe out there. Check your candy for razor blades. There's some sickos out there trying to cut our children's mouths out.
Yeah, be on the lookout for any marijuana candies.
Those sickos.
The amount of marijuana candies I ate as a child because my parents did not look into pumpkin.
Jackson's tripping balls again.
Nah. For real though.
What's wrong with little Jackson?
If you're someone that's out there freaking out that there might be drugs in your kid's candy, settle down. They want to do their own drugs. They don't want to give them out to little kids.
Yeah, no shit. What?
Pixie sticks full of pure Colombian chowder powder.
Ugh, the kids love nose toys. They sure do. All right, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one. Oi. Oi.
Crashing with Friends.
Podcast.